Hey guys, I'm Brianna Beverly with IGMOB News, sponsored by Adams Boxing. And I'm here with Gabriel Iglesias, welcome.
Hello.
And JR.
The future.
The future.
El futuro.
Es el futuro.
All right, so I kind of want to go into your story. How did it all begin? Comedy, just you, growing up, all that. I kind of want to know your story.
I don't know how much time do we have because it's a long story. It's like 30 years, so
30 minutes.
A lot of it. Oh wow. Well, let's see. What can I tell you that most people don't already know?
Yeah.
Some people think I'm from Bakersfield. Some people think I'm from El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
Some think I'm from Hawaii. They think I'm Hawaiian. Every time I do a special, I personalize it so much that people think I'm from that place.
Right.
Because of how, personal I make
Mm-hmm.
everything. But in actuality, I was born in Chula Vista, which is San Diego, California.
Nice.
And I grew up here in Long Beach. That's where we're at now.
Yeah.
It's nice, huh?
Beautiful. Did you used to go to the beach a lot here in Long Beach?
I hate the beach.
Really?
I hate the beach with a passion. I can't stand sand in between my toes. I hate being out there in the heat. I can't stand sunburns. I learned all this at an early age because I used to think that the beach was the end all for everything. It's like, oh my God, the beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to look at if you have a beachfront view of property. That's awesome. But being at the beach, not a fan. I got caught in a riptide one time, sucked me out into the ocean. And luckily I made it back. And since then, I'm like, I don't go back.
You're
so
like, that's it for me.
I'll go on a pier. That's the extent of it right there. But yeah, seagulls, they're horrible.
They're brutal.
They're brutal.
They are. They really are.
But yeah, I'm not a big, I mean, I love the city, but going to the playa, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'd rather go to the mall in the hood
In the hood.
than the beach. But yeah, this is where I've been my whole life. I went to elementary school, middle school, high school here. And I still live here. So
Yeah. Would you ever move anywhere else?
Yes.
Where?
Texas.
I love Texas.
I love Texas, San Antonio.
Okay.
And I actually do have a house in San Antonio, so I go in between the two. So Long Beach, San Antonio. So whenever I'm getting over there, and whenever I'm done with the pew pew, I come back here. And yeah, it's different. Different life.
Different vibes for sure.
Different vibes for sure. It's always, what's better? Whataburger, In-N-Out. I don't even get into it.
That's a good question. Whataburger, In-N-Out is like hand in hand, but I feel like there's no comparison.
When I'm in California, it's In-N-Out, and when I'm in Texas, it's Whataburger. So
all right,
that's the way to play it safe.
Cool. So you're special. This is where I want to bring JR in because he actually designed the blue and pink.
I thought you were saying I'm special. Yes, I'm very special. I'm glad you acknowledged that.
One of a kind. You're one of a kind.
There we go. I'll go with that one.
It was a really cool show premiere that you kind of did. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I want to go into the story behind that outfit because I think it was so iconic.
By the way, I just want everybody who's watching to know that I did not plan the background. It just so happens that the background I dedicated this wall to that special.
Okay.
And yes, of course, the outfit that I wore on that stage was designed by the very quiet man in the corner here, Junior. Waiting for you to chime in, bro. I'm like, it's just us. Are you just gonna watch us? Is that a cook chair? What is that?
You know what's funny is I feel like I'm in the audience watching this happening right now. I'm all into it over here.
Like you're just a little voyeur over there.
And I'm like, I'm over here all entertained. I'm like, what's going well? I literally felt like I was watching the show over here. Like, this is getting good.
I want to know your story and how did you guys come about it? Did you like the idea of pink and blue? Was there another design you wanted to do?
I think he was talking about, like, he said he was going to look like a flamingo. And you remember when you said, you're like, dude, what do you want me to look like a flamingo? Because it was like the colors were just so vibrant, the blue and the pink.
I don't even remember exactly because I know that we went anything with him. It's never basic. And that's why I did it on purpose to dress as casual as because on a regular, any given day, this is how I dress. Very basic t-shirt, some sweat shorts or jean shorts. And it takes someone like Junior to freaking pimp me out and make me look glorious for TV.
Yeah.
Because that outfit was something else. And he's made several shirts, but never a full-blown outfit. Yeah. And I think this was the first time we said, all right, we need a top and bottom. We're going to go full Miami. So when we started talking about it, I think there was a denim idea. Let's see what full denim would look like, patches.
Yeah.
And then we did a blue denim. And then I think
it was like a blue denim, but he kind of like played around with it a little bit. He's like, you know what, let's make it denim, but at the same time, let's do like some flowers, like wine flowers kind of going down the side. So we we did one kind of like with what he's used to, like his style, right? With like, cause he's always like in denim shorts.
Yeah.
And then you see like the Hawaiian shirts. But then this second one, we kind of wanted to go a little bit crazy. And I'm a very loud guy when it comes to colors. And when I saw him, I was like, yo, these colors are just going to look amazing on him.
And they did.
And it's kind of like when I see people, it's like an avatar where you can like change their clothes on top. Like I can change his clothes by looking at him. That sounds weird, but like by looking.
Not the strangest thing I've heard you say, but
But it's like when I see him, I'm like already like, okay, what does he look good at? And you know what? There's a funny thing about this is that I have a team, right, like of graphic artists. And the funny thing is they sat down once and it was for a New Year's shirt and they designed a shirt and they were like, JR, you're always designing all the shirts. Can we just design one shirt, right? And then they literally for like 40 minutes, they put a shirt together and they showed it to me and I was like, he's going to hate it. He's not going to like it. And they're like, how do you know? And I'm like, bro, it's just, I know the man's style.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I know what he likes. I know what he's into. Like, I've hung out with him enough to know, like, what, you know, what his style is. And funny thing is, I remember shooting it over as a text, right? And yeah, his assistant was like, nah, he's not a fan of that one. And I told him, I'm like, see, what did I tell you guys? I'm like, it's not something that you can just, like, do because it looks easy. Because, like, you really have to think about it and you have to picture him in it. And then when you picture him in it, like, when we did the Chinese theater one, like he literally threw out some awesome ideas about like, you know, some people he wanted on there, obviously Chinese theater, right? And then as soon as he was telling me about it, I already envisioned like the red dragons, right? Just kind of like faded into the background.
Yeah.
I envisioned the stars. I envisioned like pretty much like how, you know, even though the people were going to be in black and white just to kind of pay tribute. So it's like, as he's talking about it, like I already start like putting it together.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, it makes it fun everywhere that he goes because like I get a chance to play around with each one and kind of do like a bunch of different themes. And to be honest, he very rarely does he say like to change something on it just because he absolutely just like loves what I bring, you know what I'm saying, what I do for him. So it's been exciting.
What's your favorite one that he's done for you? I've seen the E2 one. I thought that was really cool. That was a really cool idea. And even Drew Barrymore was excited, which is actually better. I know that there's a story behind that one too, right?
There's a story behind every shirt, but I think the fact that a lot of times I'm more practical. I'm very, very practical. And so if I get a shirt, I want a shirt that I can use anywhere, everywhere. And so for me to change that way of thinking and just let me try to have Junior create these one-hit masterpieces for whatever the occasion is, one and dones. But I hate the fact that I have so many incredible shirts just hanging up that I can't just wear for a regular thing. But at the same time, that's what made them more special is the fact that they were designed specifically for one thing, and that was to steal the show. And every time I've worn one of your shirts for whatever the occasion is, it always steals the show. It goes above and beyond. It makes me look good, which, hey, man, I appreciate because you see how I look now. This is clearly not made by him. Shout out to Big and Tall. Anyway, yeah. So for me, I think that Drew Barrymore shirt that he made a beautiful Drew Barrymore shirt from her as a child in the movie E.T. and then on the front, it just really, really looked cool. And the fact that we were able to show it to her on TV, on her show, and then have the man himself who designed it come on out on stage and fangirl for 2 minutes and take away my time, which I didn't appreciate. But whatever, you know.
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know he was going to bring me up on stage, but I totally.
But I knew he was a huge fan of Drew Barrymore's, which was really awesome. And it showed as soon as he got on camera. It was so cute. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh my God, he's having a moment. And that was really, really cool.
You felt like a proud dad.
So, yeah. I was like, mira, mijo, llégale.
I felt like a cheerleader who just saw her crush. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was literally just going crazy. It's like I didn't even realize how crazy I was going until afterwards when I went in the back and, you know, the whole crew was in the back. And they're like, dude, you were just like all over the place. I was like, no way.
No, for sure.
I think that entire day, it was, I got to say, it was like a power 24 hours of just go, go, go. And the fact that he had made me 3 custom shirts for 3 big projects I was doing in New York.
Yeah.
And I want to say, was that your first time there?
That was my first time in New York.
First time in New York. He shows up out the gate, boom, the Drew Barrymore shirt on the Drew Barrymore show. Oh my God. From there, we went over and I did a show. It's the Hot Ones show. You know, the ones with the wings and stuff like that. It's a new show that they're doing. And they had They had gone behind my back and talked to him to see about creating an amazing shirt that combines the fluffy style and the style of Hot Ones brand. And he made this really cool shirt that had chili peppers and my logo, and I rocked it on the show. They loved it. They pulled it out on me. It was like a surprise gift. And I'm like, this fits so good because we got your guy to make it. I'm like, all right. And then from there to the Tonight Show. And he made me a custom, of course, everything's custom. Beautiful shirt for the Tonight Show. And then walking out, they're like, oh, everybody just what an awesome shirt. I did a whole date la vuelta, mijo, hasta la vuelta, and I did front and back. It was really cool. And so from that, and then basically we went from there. We dropped him off on a corner like a hoe, and then he jumped on a flight and came back home. And I mean, it's like a power 24 hours. Showed up, kicked ass, 3 shows.
Wow.
Boom, 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 and then back
home.
I think the coolest part about the end of the day, how my night ended. Number one, like it was just wild because they literally put me on a flight, got there. I was getting ready to take a nap. He wakes me up, tells me to go wash my ass, and basically,
that's how we talk to each other. Just so you know, our relationship doesn't have an HR department, so we speak freely here.
So he tells me to go wash my ass. So then after that, they come home and they pick me up, right? Literally, and I was just getting ready to go to bed, like because I just landed and I only had like a 2-hour sleep, but it was funny because at the end of the night, like after we had a crazy night, they actually stopped in the middle of like randomly New York. Like they waited for me to get an Uber, which was pretty cool. You know what I mean? And then I had like a little photo shoot there because he was photographing me next to, what was that?
By the Christmas tree, right there. Yes.
Okay.
So right by the Christmas tree.
And it was just cool because like I'm there, we're kind of just like chilling, having a little photo shoot, and then obviously people are recognizing him. It's kind of like, what the hell are you guys doing here randomly? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the driver that we had didn't care, so he just basically hit the emergency lights, and we pulled over, and then we got out just doing a little photo shoot right there. People are like, what the hell? There's cars driving by and
honking.
Well, not really because we were blocking, but we were on the side with the lights flashing. And then here comes his Uber. We're like, deuces.
You got right back in the car and dipped.
Yeah, but I mean, I just thought it was awesome that he showed up. It was like I said, I don't even think you were there 24 hours.
I wasn't. And the thing is, like, it was already hard enough to get 2 shirts done in like the time frame that I had because I really wanted to go to New York because it's been my dream. Even though Drew Barrymore promised to take me to the Statue of Liberty, which didn't happen. But I literally...
Hasn't happened yet. Still alive. So, she didn't say when.
She didn't say when, but she did say she was I'm going to get you there. But no, it was hard enough that he wanted like 2 shirts, like crazy turnaround time. But I was just like, dude, I love being challenged. And at the same time, because he gave me like a shout out on social media. So the Hot Ones people contacted me, then they wanted a shirt. And then there was another gentleman too, who's like a car, but he like sells cars. He also wanted a Lincoln shirt. So it's like,
4 shirts, not 3, 4. My friend Andrew from Vantage Auto, he hit you up because I just bought a Lincoln town car that's in the parking lot. We'll have to show pictures after. It's in the parking lot, and he wanted to get me a present for buying because I bought a few cars from the guy. And so he had Junior make a shirt with a Lincoln Town Car on it for me to wear while I drive that car, which I thought is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So 4 shirts.
4 shirts, and like what would normally take me to say, dude, 2 shirts. And then the crazy thing was like the behind the scenes stuff is just wild because it's an Italian fabric that I use. So I had to drive up like 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to drive up like 3 hours to go get this fabric because they're like, hey, JR, we don't have any. The fabric you want hasn't been brought here yet. It's 3 hours away. And I'm like, I have to get this fabric. I want to go to New York. And I did. I drove like a 3-hour drive. And it was just wild.
The things he does for you.
I know, right?
Honestly, the crazy stuff is behind the scenes that people don't see. That's why to me it means a lot when he calls me and he asks me to do like the Chinese theater one, to see him putting his hands in there. Like, I know that's a huge moment for him and wearing my shirt. Like, because I know the chaos and the craziness that I went through to make these things come to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you see that moment, it's like, oh, it was all worth it. You know what I mean?
And not only making beautiful, show-worthy, I don't even want to call them shirts. They're art pieces that I wear. But he's really good about staying on top of my ever-changing body. Because like sometimes I'm like, depending on how much sodium I intake or how good the carne asada was, I'm bigger. Right now I'm smaller, so I fluctuate 30, 40 pounds. Any couple months I can do that. And so a few times he had to take the shirts in. Sometimes he has to let the shirts out. Sometimes, I don't know, for some reason I'm longer or shorter. So he's always changed with me, which is really cool. But anyways, we said all that to say that my favorite shirt has been probably the Family Feud shirt, simply because that shirt took over the show.
Yeah.
Like, Steve Harvey and I go way back since 1998 with Steve Harvey.
Okay.
When I did it, Showtime. We both had hair at the time. Anyway, that shirt, that Family Feud shirt, I was able to stop the entire show to just show what I was wearing.
Right.
And that was cool. It was literally a show-stopping shirt that had a picture of Steve Harvey on the back. And I know there's a picture of that on the walls over there at Family Feud. Still, every time somebody shows up, they got to see a picture of me wearing that shirt, which I think is awesome.
Crazy. It's fun.
You know?
Yeah, of course. Moving on to Dodger Stadium. Big moment for you, right? How was that moment for you, knowing that it was sold out for you? Like, how did you feel?
I was Taylor Swift for one night. Basically a sold out stadium. And we did it 2 nights. We did one show Saturday and we did one show Friday. But we did the reason I bring up Saturdays, Saturday was the main show. Friday was the warm up to the special.
Got it.
Because Friday the cameras were not running. Saturday the cameras were running. So 2 nights there at Dodger Stadium, and greatest night of my life. Biggest show I've ever done, and the biggest fine I've ever paid. So it was awesome.
Fine? Why?
Fine because I went over. I did my show, and then I stayed on stage, and then we kept playing music, and I started drinking on stage with my friends, and we basically stayed on stage telling stories about what it took to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And people were digging it. They're like, oh my God, because it was such a local show. It's like, I've been going there for my whole life, and everybody in that stadium was like, this is somewhere we've been coming forever since our childhood.
Yeah.
And to see one of our own in this position, it was a celebration. And so, I celebrated a little too hard, and I wound up leaving Dodger Stadium at about 4:00 in the morning. Yes. When you rent an arena, that's one thing. If you go over on your time, you're looking at, a couple $1,000s if you go over because there's a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are working. You have to be off stage by a certain time because they got to do everything to get ready for the next day. Same thing goes with a stadium.
Mm-hmm.
A stadium is not a few $1,000s to rent. A stadium is $1 million plus to rent.
Crazy.
And so when you go over your time, as much as I did, I was fined $250,000 for
just for that.
I broke curfew and just went. I didn't just go over by a little bit. I went over by a lot.
Yeah.
And I tell people I'm the reason the Dodgers could afford Ohtani, because that fine. I'm like, every time you see my bat, that's me right there.
That's you. That's you.
It's my doing.
Wow, that's great.
But greatest night of my life.
Yeah, an amazing accomplishment too, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Around 3 decades of doing comedy.
I know, right? There I was. 30 years.
So actually, you did that voice right now in the special. You had, I guess, 2 versions of that voice. Can you do the Mexican version, the Spanish version?
Sí, mijo. All you gotta do is in Spanish. Same voice. How you doing there? Watch Spanish. Oh, you see, mijo. Same guy. Same guy.
Sound exactly the same.
How does it feel now? Like you had mentioned in that special as well that decades. People sometimes come and go when it comes to comedy, right? Some people come and some people, I guess, in terms now, get canceled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're still going strong. It's been almost 30 years.
I'm grandfathered in. I don't think I could get canceled at this point. I'd have to really mess up. In which case, I got too many people that would stop me before I did something real stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I was going to say, you have not, like, ever in your life really genuinely have ever been on, like, the bad spotlight. It's always positive.
And my controversy is like, what did I do? I think. See, I have to think about it. I have to really think.
Yeah.
Unless you drank with me before, then you're like, oh, I could tell you some stuff. You just, well, I guess we'll know when we know, if we know, right?
Let's knock on wood. That won't happen.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
For sure. In terms of your comedy, is there a reason you kind of wanted to be a comedian? Like, did you ever want to do something else, or you knew that this is what you wanted to do?
I either wanted to do comedy or pro wrestling.
Okay.
I was a big fan of pro wrestling because it was so colorful and so like, oh man, these stories and these personalities were so just larger than life. And I enjoyed it. I love the fighting and the interviews, and just, it was always a spectacle. So I really loved everything about wrestling. And it's funny because I apply so much of it to what I do.
Yeah.
the spectacle, the lights, the loud colors, the energy, the big shows, the design, the merchandising, the promotion. It's very much wrestling. But I got in one real fight when I was a kid, and I realized I'm not good with pain. So jokes it is. Early on, I knew that I loved comedy. I was a big fan of Eddie Murphy when he did stand up back in the 80s. And I saw that and I said, I want to do it. And I didn't know how I was going to get into it, but I knew I wanted to do it.
How did you get into it?
Well, school talent show when I was a kid. I went up there and I did a bunch of voices and impressions. And I had no idea that what I was doing was stand up. I just thought I was doing impressions. That was my thing. And then sure enough, in high school, I joined the speech team and I learned to get comfortable just getting up in front of the class.
Right.
I'd get up in front of the class every day and I would just talk about my day. Sometimes it was funny, sometimes it wasn't, but getting up in front of people is one of the hardest things to do. Public speaking is one of the hardest things to do. Yeah. But when you're doing it every day and you're used to just talking and people are listening, I'm not worried about silence. I'm not worried about, anything.
Yeah.
And so once I started doing stand-up, I was already comfortable. And, then I learned the actual humor part. And then that's, but a lot of times comics are afraid of silence. Mm-hmm. And I embrace silence because if it's quiet in the room, that means everyone's listening.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts.
It's funny right now that he was mentioning about how he was in the talent show because I've had the opportunity to meet some of his family members. Mm-hmm. And
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I told him to leave.
No, but what I loved is the fact that they were actually talking about them going and actually seeing this when he was doing that, at his schools. Like they're like, yeah, we would go with the family and we'd even record. They even said they even have footage of when he started, and I'm like, yo, that's something that I would love to see. You know what I mean? Because it's to actually get a chance and see him where he's at now, and that's what me and her were just recently talking about. I said, I don't know how he does it. Yeah. You know how they say you got to work hard always and all that, right? I feel like I work hard and I'm just drained and I'm aging and I'm like, he doesn't age. You know what I mean? You don't age.
GMOs. All the stuff they tell you not to eat, I eat twice as much of it. Anything with preservatives. Yeah. Por eso irá. Almost 50, pero mira, carita. Yes. Ojitos. Ojitos.
Yeah, no bags under his eyes.
Literally that. What is your skincare routine? We want to know.
Oh, God. No, I couldn't tell you. I'm telling you, I eat everything, but I'm not supposed to. Inside, horrible. Outside, beauty. Beauty. Amazing. You can tell people to eat organic, man, because inside they feel great, but outside it's your skin doesn't love you.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think that's why I always wear the big glasses, because I don't look so tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into his question of, you're always on the road, mm-hmm. You don't age. Really, what is it? Is it more because it's a passion?
I age. I mean, shit, look at my head. Look at this. Look, does this look like no, I pulled all this hair out, came out over the years. I used to have a full head of hair when I first started. And now I just, get the hat, the old school Jaime Escalante, orale, wear this hat. When I first started doing stand-up, I was on the road almost 300 days out of the year.
Wow.
And then just, little by little started cutting back. And then it was 4 days out of the week. And then now it's 3.
Yeah.
And now it's 3 with a week every month off.
Okay.
To just kind of,
Yeah.
Because I am tired. It does take its toll. I mean, plane, bus, hotel. You just go. And it's just after a while, there is burnout.
Yeah.
And if it feels like work, then it's not fun. And people can tell when you're having fun, and they can tell when it's you're phoning it in, and it's just kind of,
Yeah. So it's more of a passion for sure for you.
Oh yeah, my accountant told me you can stop anytime you want, and I was like, that's all I needed to hear. She said, you're good. And that's one of my favorite things to tell the audience when I go out on stage is that, you know what, I'm here tonight because I want to be here. It's not a means to an end. I'm not, in debt with somebody. I'm not forced to be here. We're doing this show tonight because I still love being a comic and I want to perform for you.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. I feel like the passion, do you ever in your career, did you ever find it ever the spark kind of leaving ever?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything that's awesome will have its days where it doesn't feel awesome.
Yeah.
And not every day can be a good day. You got to have bad days. You got to have struggle. You got to have shit thrown in your face. You got to have just these days where you're hating life.
Yeah.
It has to happen
Mm-hmm.
because anything that's worth doing can't be easy. That's why I tell him all the time. I go, stop fighting with those people on the internet. Focus your energy on just keep grinding and creating and doing what upsets people. Because clearly what he's doing is upsetting people, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, because people are hating and they're like, oh, and they're taking from him.
Yeah.
You know, and so I say, hey man, if people are copying what you're doing, that they're not creative. They just know how to copy.
Yep.
You know, just keep creating because clearly you're good at it. And the same thing happens to me. Like, all right, I do something. Okay, that looked a little familiar, but at the end of the day, I know I got more in the tank.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true though, because I wasn't expecting that day that he hit me up.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like to me, I felt like yeah, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's because sometimes, like he says, sometimes you have like your bad days, and it was just like a whole year of just like a wave just kind of hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. And I just went on this rant on social media. Yeah. And when he wrote
what
me,
day?
You know what I mean?
He makes it sound like he just did it once. No, man, it took. He went off the deep end a few times. I had to talk him off a cliff on a couple of occasions because I've been there.
Yeah.
I am guilty myself of going on social media and just entertaining some of these pendejos out there that say things to you and it rubs you wrong.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, and you want to just defend yourself, but you're feeding into the bullshit that's getting thrown your way.
I haven't done it anymore though.
Yeah, and I've noticed. I haven't done it. I've noticed. I follow you, bro.
I haven't done it anymore. It's because in a way I feel like he's watching, right? And I was like, dude, I don't want to. I
feel like he's the top viewer. He's the top viewer.
I was like, because I do see that he sees my story, so that's how I'm like, all right, man, I'm not gonna post something stupid anymore.
There's two things I always give him a hard time about. That is one, and the other one is put gas in your car.
Yeah.
I do this thing that every time I come visit him, it's so funny, but they even call us sometimes when we leave and they go, who left their car on?
Oh,
so
you did.
I leave my car.
He's an artist. Artists have quirks, and that's one of his things right there.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
anytime you're in a position where you have attention on you and people are gravitating to you because of what you do, you're going to have those outside noises of people that don't like the fact that you're getting that attention, you're getting that notoriety, and they just want to find a way to steal some of that from you. And it is hard. It is so hard. It's hard not to take things personal. Right. It's hard not to want to defend your craft and what you do and how you do it. And that's taken a lot of discipline to learn to just
let it go.
Let it go, man.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Let it go. It's not freaking worth it. I got more. I'll make more.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with him. He could create anything. And so people are going to continue to copy and look at you and then make their comments and do whatever. You just got to know that that's part of the deal.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
I
learned.
And they say that, was it? Copying is the highest form of flattery or whatever. There's a better word for it, but that's in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. It's hard not to let, it get to you, but that's the discipline. You tell him, you gotta teach you, man.
Daniel's son.
What is something you would tell your fans that are watching you right now? That's something maybe they don't even know about you that you
something they don't even know about me. Look, I don't know what I'm trying to think. I like bowling. I got on the weekends. I like no. Something about me that they might not know. I put my life out there pretty good. I've talked about my parents. I've talked about siblings. That's probably why most of them don't talk to me. I've talked about my childhood, about my friends. I'm trying to think what is something.
Do you have like a hobby that people might not expect you to have? Like, do you draw? Do you?
I don't draw. I used to draw when I was a kid. I used to draw cartoons.
Okay.
I would draw like Snoopy and Garfield. I used to do that a lot. I would draw Snoopy and Garfield. Those are my thing because those are my favorite cartoons, and I would draw those characters. But I stopped doing that a long time ago. I probably still could do it now, just from, But I mean, I collect Volkswagens. I love dogs, animals. I'm about to start a charity for dogs and cats.
Good, yeah.
Let me see. We mentioned the thing about living in between here and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's something. People in Texas are like, "Oh, you're here," and I'm like, I'm everywhere. Let me see. God, that's a real good one. it's hard for me to think of something that people don't already know about me. Excuse me. Drinking orange soda. That's random. I ran out.
Okay. So I don't know. I think your story is pretty cool. You're just, you're touring everywhere. You're on the go. You're just a man that never sleeps.
I enjoy being on stage.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, nothing hurts. It's one of those things where that's where I feel like the wrestler, where it's like, yeah, the only time I can get hurt is when I'm not on this stage. I could be limping. I could be having a horrible day, but as soon as I go up on stage, everything it's a reset, and none of the noise is there when I'm on stage.
Right.
It's not until I get off stage where, oh man, I'm hurting again, and oh, now I got to deal with reality. So I love the fact that when I'm doing stand-up, I can just get away from everything, even though I'm in front of thousands of people.
Yeah. I'm
super comfortable on stage.
I was about to say, how do you deal with all the bright lights in your face and just like a crowd of people? You don't ever get nervous going on stage?
The only time I get nervous getting up in front of people is when I'm on someone else's show.
Okay.
And there's a time, like a thing with a time. Like, for example, if I'm on The Tonight Show, and you're performing, you only get so much time to perform, right. And then you only get so much time to sit on the couch and tell whatever stories you're going to tell.
Yeah.
So you're concerned about sticking to your time. And it's the funniest thing, because if you're having a killer set on the show and you're getting applause breaks and people are laughing longer, as a comic performing, you're actually like, no, stop laughing, stop clapping, because you're taking away from my time on the couch. And so
like, no.
I'll get nervous about like, oh man, I hope this goes just right where I can get all the time I need on stage and on the couch. So I'm nervous about that.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about things I have no control over. I'm not, it's not my environment. If I'm on someone else's television show, whether it's a sitcom or a game show or whatever the thing is, that's when I get nervous, because it's not my normal element. But on my show, my stage, Dodger Stadium, there was no nerves.
Wow.
50,000 people, I was not nervous. The only thing that I was concerned about was, I hope the sound and the lighting is good enough for everyone to hear the show. That's all I was concerned about. I wasn't concerned about my performance. I wasn't concerned about how the crowd was going to receive me, because I was like, no, they're here. They want me to do good.
Yes.
But I only do one of these, once in a blue ever. And so I have no control over how it's going to sound or look.
Wow.
That was the only concern. But nerves, no.
But as like someone that sits right there in the crowd, right? To me, when I was sitting there watching them on Dodger Stadium, I'm like, that's crazy to think that everyone in here is just for one man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just shows you like the love that people have for him. And it's real love, because when people find out that I work with him, like, I've never seen people light up so much. Like, their faces light up. Yeah. They get so happy. They just feel like they know him because they're talking to me. You know what I mean? So they already feel like somehow they've met him.
Yeah.
So he has such a strong impact on people that, like, I can tell why they love him so much. You know what I mean? And people even ask me, like, is he really like that? Like how he is on stage in person? Like, he's like, I can't even explain like how amazing he is in person. I'm like, he does get into sometimes the characters, like right now when we're talking, right? I'm like, that's really
the entertainment part.
I'm like, that's really who he is. I'm like, he really is like one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my life. You know what I mean? So it's like, I see why when I'm right there, and like when I go see him, I see why everybody goes to see him. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm excited for his new one, right? Because you're gonna be at the SoFi, right, next year?
Yeah. So I thought about retiring after Dodger Stadium, because it's like, how do you top that? How do you set a new goal?
Yeah.
I literally saw myself peak. That was my peak that night. Like, how do you get any bigger? What could you possibly do to top that?
Yeah.
And so I had to have a nice little sit down with everybody, and I'm like, this is a good ending to the story, because it's at the 25-year mark. 25 years is a normal, you go to work for 25 years. Yeah, yes, 25 years, get the watch, and the watcho, I'm going to go fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still love this, and I still feel young enough to go out there and still, continue to do it. It's just that I needed to find a new goal to set for myself. Otherwise, it's kind of like, if you don't set a goal for yourself, then you're kind of just going through the motions, and it's like, well, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for money. I've already got specials. I'm not doing it to put something out. I'm not trying to grow anything. So what's the goal? You know what I mean? And so I had a conversation with Joe Coy, funny guy. And I said, hey, man, I go, you ever want to do a show together? And he's like, well, what are you thinking? Because we have a very similar fan base. Every time he comes to my show and gets up on stage, people go crazy. And when I go to his show, people go crazy. So I'm like, clearly there's a nice little crossover there. And so one night I crashed his show at the Forum and I said, hey, you want to do a show together? And he goes, sure. Right here at the Forum? I go, no, how about we go across the street? And the crowd went crazy when I said, let's go do SoFi. And they're like, no way.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's basically going to be like a Super Bowl of comedy.
Yeah.
Like a WrestleMania of comedy. 2 guys, 1 night in a football stadium. So, yeah, we're excited. We're already 75% sold on the show.
Oh,
and the show isn't for almost a year.
Wow.
Almost a year away. And we've already sold 75% of the show. So we're just like, all right. So now we're going to go to Comic-Con and be like, all right, let's go play around and see what happens. See if we can stir something.
Yeah.
Because anytime we go out to eat, because we'll go out to eat together.
Mm-hmm.
I took him to Capitol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
our little go-to in the OC. I took him to this restaurant called Capitol Grill. And Joe Coy is a, what are the people that don't eat meat, but they eat fish? What is it called?
Pescatarian?
Vegan, right?
Yeah, annoying. Yes, that's what we call them. We call those people annoying. I love Joe Coy, but man, sometimes, come on, dude, just eat some bacon. Bacon's delicious. But yeah, he doesn't do bacon. He's all about fish. They have an amazing clam chowder at Capitol Grill.
Yeah. And
so we'll go out and eat together. And people see us together and they're like, because both of us have a very recognizable look about us. And so they'll see one and they're like, oh my God. And then they'll see the second one and they're like, and so it's like a double hit. And they're just like, they lock up. They don't even talk to us. They're just kind of pointing. And so it's pretty awesome when we go out together.
What do you guys do? You're like,
yeah, we just wave. We're like, what's up, buddy? Doing good? All right. And we'll just point. Hey, look.
For sure. I'm excited for the outfit for that one.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I did a thing for the Rams.
Okay.
About a year ago? And they were going to have me on TV. I get to go out on the field and announce, ladies and gentlemen, the Rams chant that they had set up. And then I did an interview with Fox Sports. And of course, I hit him up. I said, hey, man, I'm going to do an interview at the football stadium. I'm on the field. I'm on TV. Can you make me something? And sure enough,
wow.
First thing they say, cool shirt. And I'm like, of course. So that's why every time I wear something that he makes me, it's a show stealer. And whether it's on a football field, he's made me a ton of stuff for wrestling. I did a television show for WWE, and I did multiple episodes, and he made me like 12 different shirts for WWE. And every time I'd sit down, all the wrestlers, like, they've seen it all.
Yeah.
And every single wrestler saw my shirt, and they're like, dude, that's a sick shirt. They're like, that's custom, huh? I go, yes, it is. And so every time I go to a wrestling event, I rock one of those shirts, and it's all people in the building can see that shirt.
Yeah.
So just know, man, every time I'm your canvas, bro. So pimp me out, dude. I'll be your canvas. Just tell me where to go, what to wear, and I'll do it.
If we're at the same event, they know I'm the one that designs the stuff. The way I dress sometimes. Like last time, I think you said it looked like the Mexican Pac-Man, right?
And that's another thing too. This is probably the tamest outfit I think I've ever seen you wear.
Yeah.
Because anytime we go, like I've invited him to go a couple concerts.
Yeah.
And he looks more rock star than people on the stage. How is that possible? He shows up with crazier hair, bigger glasses, bigger outfit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, of course. One year we had a party here, and I had a contest, best outfit for the wrestling themed party costume contest. And of course, this dude shows up in this thing that looked, I can't even describe it, but everybody's like, winner. And they, I'm like, really, dude? It's like, come on, it's like a ringer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he knew what he was doing. All the people that they wear spandex and everything, got a cheeky fawn out, but no, fully dressed. He won.
Even a guy that came up to me, he goes, "You beat my son." You know what I mean? Because his son also.
Oh, they were mad because the little kids are dressed up. They're like, "Come on for the kids," and he's like,
You said I'm winning still?
Well, it's because like I love dressing up. You know what I mean? It's always exciting to dress up, and it was an all blinged out pink suit with a fur cape, and then I even had a mask with a fur hood.
Oh my god!
So yeah, no, the whole thing was just.
It was sick, and I hope you're showing images of everything we're talking about.
Yeah, because I have all that. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
have that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know if you, maybe it won't happen, who knows? But your next show at SoFi, can you give me an idea of what you would want the outfit to be for that show?
It would definitely need to be something that is tied into both Joe Coy and myself, because it is not a night of one, it's a night of two. So, I love the fact that we're teaming up for this. We're not going to be on stage together at the same time. We both have our own shows that we're doing, but I love the fact that it's a joint, it's a collab, the two of us. So whatever it is that I'm wearing, I want it to be something that represents both of us and the city of Los Angeles, because this is our biggest market for both of us. And so I want it to scream LA and scream Joe Coy, Gabriel Iglesias.
Can you make it happen?
I'm already thinking about it, yes.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He's already
I
had
assume-
it all.
Surprised he doesn't have something right now. Well, it just so happens.
I don't know. Is that right now?
That's how quick he is.
Yeah.
That's how
Because
quick
I started
he is.
thinking about the Philippine flag, I started thinking about the Mexican flag, I started thinking about LA, I started thinking about Hollywood. So it's like started thinking about the city.
Yeah.
So I kind of just started tying everything in right now. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of already have a couple ideas for that.
Do you like blinged out stuff?
I don't.
Yeah.
But depending on what the thing is, I'm open to it. So,
Okay.
for example, I have a residency in Vegas where I do the Cosmopolitan several times a year. And I told him, I go, hey, man, can you design me something that screams Vegas? And I said, you can get as crazy as you want. And he made me some really cool Vegas shirts that got, the rhinestones and everything. And so I was like, all right, it's Vegas. So I'd wear it on stage, and while I'm up there and I'm moving, I could see the little dots on people, like a disco ball. I could see them as I'm moving around. I just see the little dots on people's faces. So I'm open to it like that. It screams Vegas. It's the event. That's what it is. It was cool. When I did New Year's, I did the countdown with Ryan Seacrest. The shirt that he made me for that was truly pimped out. That one I think was a disco ball.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the ball that drops.
Yeah.
But it was totally blinged out. And so that one, everybody's like, dude. And I go, yeah. This shirt's like 40 pounds, man. It is heavy. I just remember how heavy that shirt was.
Yeah.
So for certain occasions, I love the idea of going over the top.
Yeah.
The fact that he made me matching shorts for this last special,
Mhm.
man, it was only DJ Khaled could pull something like that off. But I did it.
You did it.
I did it. And it was a perfect balance because I had a white hat, white tennis shoes, and then all the color in the middle. So the whole vibe
became the whole
rocking.
theme of like the show, the cover, everything. You know what I mean? That was pretty awesome to see that. So
Yeah, you even it gave for sure Miami vibes, like for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the cool part with that outfit, I no longer have it because the Hard Rock wanted me to donate it to the Hard Rock so they could put it on display there at the hotel.
Wow.
So that outfit will be if it's not already on display, it will be on display soon enough there, which I think is awesome because it's like part of the history of my career. And it's something that was done there at the Hard Rock. No other comic has done a special there. So they're like, we want to feature this.
Wow.
Plus, it just screams Miami.
Yeah, it really did.
And there's one that's hanging in. There's also one that's also hanging in a very special place, and that's my parents' living room.
Oh, is that the Wheel of Fortune one?
The Wheel of Fortune one.
Yeah, so I got to do Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a game show. It's an iconic game show. I go,
Yeah.
dude, I'm doing Wheel of Fortune. This is literally Pat Sajak's last run. He's only doing a few more episodes.
Yeah.
And I get to do one of the shows with him. Can we do something that screams Wheel of Fortune?
Mhm.
Sure enough, I go on the show, and as soon as I'm walking through, and it's funny because on the contract, when you do Wheel of Fortune, one of the things that's on there says, do not wear anything loud.
Really?
Yeah, it says it right on there. Don't wear anything loud. And of course, I read that the day of, and I'm like, well, so much for that. But this is so personal that as soon as I got on the show, everyone's like, sick shirt. And I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
That's all anybody wanted to talk about was the shirt. Vanna comes over, and she's like, oh my God, it's showing the crowd. And Pat Sajak, same thing. And so the fact that I went on the show, I did very well.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to solve as many puzzles as I did. But at the end of it, I had Pat and Vanna sign the shirt. And I says, you know what? Hey, man, I had it framed, and I gave it back to the man. I said, dude, you gave me the magic. I did it. And now here you go. I don't think anybody gives the stuff back, right? It's like,
Oh.
No.
No, that's why the fact that he gave me and the frame is so nice. It's a nice big frame. Yeah, it's in my dad's living room.
Yeah. So again, a one and done. What made it special? It was for a specific occasion. It was an incredible occasion. One of my favorite shows growing up. That show I think is like 50 years old, 60 years old.
Yeah,
It's old. It's been around forever. And to have those two people compliment it, take a picture, and they both sign the shirt. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Have you ever seen his boxing outfits that he designed?
Oh yeah, that's what I saw first.
Yeah. Are you a big boxing fan?
Believe it or not, my whole family, on my dad's side, whole family boxers.
Really?
Yes, they box lemons, onions, tomatoes, uvas, algodón. You walk right into it.
I actually believed it too. I was like,
bad. I am.
Who's your favorite boxer? Or I guess you don't want to say favorite. Someone that you.
Well, okay, like when I was growing up, I was always watching, of course, the Tyson fights. But in addition to the Tyson fights, I was always watching the, Julio Cesar Chavez, or whether it was De La Hoya or Macho Camacho or Felix Trinidad from that generation. Then, of course, you get the Mayweathers and, Canelo, and now, Teofimo, who was here not too long ago. It was awesome. We had a whole party and we're like, hey, man, you want something to drink? He's like, training. He's strict. He would not. I tried to get him to drink, and he's like, training. I'm like, got it, bro. Cookies, training. All right, cool. Selfie,
wow.
I can do that. All right, let's take a selfie. So, training, yeah.
Training. Wow, that's amazing.
But yeah, I've seen his work, and I mean the outfits, whether it's a cape, a full, a robe, the shorts, a top. I mean, he doesn't just create boxing gear. He creates a boxing ensemble, an outfit, almost like, man, like a gladiator going in to battle. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, really? All of that?
Yeah.
And so, there's no limitations.
Nope. No excuse.
I feel like I'm probably the tamest person he does stuff for, because I only have done the shirt. I haven't done anything crazy, with full blown like robe or anything like that.
That would be cool to do a robe like that.
I think you did. Wait, I take it back. Okay, here we go. So when I did the first time I performed at Staples Center, when it was still Staples Center, he made me an incredible boxing robe, and I came to the ring like a boxer, and I had a big old flag, and I'm walking to the stage from the back of the arena. That was really cool. That was a really cool entrance. I'll send you the pic.
Yeah, send us the pic so you can post it. For sure. Is there anything that you would want to tell your fans that are watching?
Well, I know we're talking about what I'm doing, but this guy right here, and so what I have going on right now is I'm getting ready to do my new tour. My new tour that I'm doing, he made me about, I want to say 6 really cool shirts for my last tour, which was called the Don't Worry, Be Fluffy. And the theme of that tour was 90s theme. So, like, for example, one of the shirts had like Blockbuster, the logos all over it, or cassette tapes, or just anything from the 90s.
Yeah.
The colors, really, really cool. And so this new tour that I'm doing, I'm calling it the 1976 tour, because I was born in 1976. Next year is 2026. I'll be 50. And so it only feels right that I celebrate that.
Yeah.
And most of the time people say, it's the 50th anniversary. So instead of just going to the number, I'd rather just go back to the beginning. And so 1976, I'm a bicentennial baby. Some people know what that means. They heard bicentennial. They're like, oh, is that part of the LGBT? It's like, oh, there's, and bicentennial, part of it. That's how you get canceled. But people are going to know it's a joke. They should. But yeah, 1976, the 1976 tour. So I need the theme of it to be things from the 70s. So whatever my shirt or ensemble is, it needs to be something that's from the 70s. So like I have an idea of like Techniques turntables, records. I have a Bronco. It's a 1976 Bronco. I like the idea of a Bronco on a shirt. People go, well, you're the Volkswagen guy. Yeah, but that's 60s. Bronco, man, that screams 70s. But anything from the 70s, whether it's American or Mexican, just something from that time. 1976. If we want to have one that screams freaking America, because that's, Yeah, 200 years right there, 1976 or 1776 to 1976. So if you want to have stars and stripes or one that just looks like a disco shirt.
That's what you say. Disco is kind of like
disco was the thing back then, but also again, it was the 70s, so whatever was going on during that time.
Yeah.
Little John Travolta's, doing the
disco ball on the yeah. So that's the vein of the new tour. So if we can start working on that, because people ask, well, what's the process for coming up with the new shirt or the new idea? When it's a one and done, it's pretty simple. When I did the Drew Barrymore show, like, hey man, and that was all him right there. So for this one, I just need about 6, maybe 7 shirts and 70s, the 1976 tour coming soon.
Check it out.
That's pretty much right. Yeah. And then the big show next year, LA, Jokoy, Fluffy, SoFi Stadium. Start working on that.
The name Fluffy, where did that come from?
Oh God, that's it's a nickname my mom gave me when I was a kid. Mijo, you're not fat, you're fluffy. Because also too, like, remember when I was a little kid, I was drawing Snoopy and Garfield, and so I remember I think we saw something with the cartoon.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, mira, Fluffy, como un gato, and I'm like, Mom, I'm not a cat. But it's crazy because if you Google Fluffy, I'm the first thing that comes up.
Are you really?
On the internet. If you Google Fluffy right now, watch what happens. I come up before quilts, comforters, cotton candy. I'm the number one Fluffy thing on the internet. Oh my God. I can say I own a word. Literally. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's good. How does it make you feel?
It's awesome. It's branding next level. But, it did take a while to get used to that word. Because when you hear Fluffy, you're like, that wouldn't have been a good wrestling name. I would have been a wrestler. I couldn't be Fluffy. I would have never won.
What would you have been?
I don't know. I've said this on WWE. The concept for a wrestler would have been the landlord, because I don't want to be the good guy. I want to be the bad guy. And the landlord is cool because everybody hates the landlord. I would have had like catch lines like rent's due.
That would be your catch line.
My finishing move would have been like, the eviction. I'm stupid. Cut the interview.
Well, thank you so much, Gabriel, for being here with us and really just speaking about your, designs and your outfits, because I think that's really part of, who you are, right? You want to stand out. You want to stand out in a way of just not really over the top, but just kind of who you are as a person, right? In your career and all that.
I love the fact that I've been given so many incredible opportunities to participate in very special moments, whether it was the hand-foot ceremony or the all these different events recently, doing all these game shows, television shows, and just special moments. And I love the fact that Junior's been able to make it that much more special.
Yeah, absolutely.
One day, dude, we'll just have the Fluffy Gallery, the Fluffy Junior Gallery, because I think I've got easily 30 shirts. Yeah, I've got more shirts that he's created for me than I have cars. That doesn't sound right. It sounds like a douche, huh? What a douche. Really, Fluffy? You and your cars?
Anything you want to tell, Gabriel?
What's funny right now? We were talking about all this, like, they're talking about, like, bringing me to New York Fashion Week, and I was just thinking, have you ever walked a runway?
Dude, they're too long, bro. I just...
So I was like, I was just thinking, because honestly, he wears so much of my stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny. I did think about that. I was like, I wonder if Gabe would be down to walk a runway.
I would walk for you, dude. I'd walk a runway for you. So if you set that up, I'll do it.
Because fashion designers always bring like a special guest, right? Like, all right, this is oh my God, this is so I was like, I will totally bring him as a guest just because I don't think I've ever seen him on a runway. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Like a fashion runway, that'd be sick to like see you.
Dope, yeah.
All right. So are you officially asking? Because I'll, that.
Would you be down to walk?
I'll walk the wrong way.
New York Fashion Week?
Oh, okay. Watch out. See, I wasn't ready for that one.
Wow.
I was actually going to ask him, like, behind the camera. I was like, hey, would you ever be down to walk a runway? Looks like you said it.
Yeah.
Oh, he said it on live.
More pressure with the cameras.
Yeah, he said it on camera.
It's on camera.
Official.
It's official.
It's official. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for being here and just hearing guys' story and two worlds colliding. Stay tuned and check out this interview. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gabriel Iglesias. That's Gabriel Iglesias if you have an accent. Anyways, you are watching IGMOB News. Did I say it right? It's Once again, Gabriel Iglesias, and you're watching IGMOB News. Yes.